Hello everyone, I am Verena Macy Alvarin, the Vice President for Academic Affairs of the Junior Philippine Institute of Accountants and Auditors United for the Federation year 2024 to 2025. And today we will be tackling the subject of cost accounting and control or ex-COSCON, and i-discuss natin today yung cost accounting cycle. This is the final topic yata sa prelims, no? And ayan, let's move on. So this slide na we will tackle the difference of financial accounting and cost accounting. Pero bago yan, we all know na financial accounting and managerial accounting, ito yung two types of accounting na mention sa ating first chapter of cost accounting and control. The difference, financial accounting is focused for the general public, while the managerial accounting or management accounting is focused doon sa mga insider or yung sa mga um, parties within the organization compared din sa mga outside. Kasi nga, they aim to focus sa management of the organization. And ayun, let's start off by comparing financial accounting na and cost accounting. For financial accounting, ang sabi nito gathers information and preparation of financial statements that meet the need of investors, creditors, and other external users. Tapos, ang mga piniprepare dito is yung balance sheet, income statements, cash flow statements. Ito, it has been tackled in our fundamentals of accounting as well as our financial accounting and reporting 1. And nakikita rin natin sa ang conceptual framework and accounting standards na kailangan yung mga financial statements natin understandable. And isa lang naman ang kailangan intindihan or tandahan talaga, which is sa financial accounting, ang focus natin, public, general public, outsiders. And ayun, we have also tackled na yung mga piniprepare natin financial statements, yung mga balance sheet, income statements, cash flow, notes to financial statements, statement of changes, and others na nakakuha natin lahat yan sa financial accounting. And then, for cost accounting naman, sabi dito, provides product cost information to external parties as well as internal parties such as managers for planning and control. Cost accounting kasi, this is what we consider as the intersection or the middle ground ng financial accounting and managerial accounting. Kasi nga, it provides information useful for external users, yung mga cost ng products, and then yung din mga internal users for planning and controlling para alam natin magkano ba natin yung ating mga products and etc. So, it is necessary for the determination of costs or cost of goods sold on the income statement as well as the inventory valuations on the balance sheet. So, dito sa cost accounting naman, ang pinaka-common na piniprepare natin is the cost of goods sold statement. And meron lang siyang format, honestly, itong cost accounting cycle. Like, meron siyang isang format. And kapag naiintindihan nyo na yun, I think, makakabisado nyo na siya. And yun lang naman, ang pinaka-sinasabi lang naman ng slide na ito is yung cost accounting. Kailangan talaga siya kasi parang, di ba sa financial accounting, lumilitaw lang yung cost of goods sold as a line item in our financial statements. Well, sa cost accounting, gagawa ka pa talaga ng isang buong statement para mahanap mo yung value ng cost of goods sold. And yeah. Next slide. We will go to manufacturing inventory accounts. Pero, bago natin i-tackle to, syempre, tandaan muna natin yung mga information na natakal na natin sa previous accounting subjects. So, in fundamentals of accounting, I believe na turo sa atin ang difference sa manufacturing and merchandising, as well as service business. Pero focus muna tayo sa manufacturing and merchandising for this slide. So, in merchandising, we all know na bibili tayo ng product from a supplier and then bebenta natin yung product na yon with a markup. And then for manufacturing naman, we will have raw materials which we will convert to the product na ibebenta natin. So, kumbaga, ang difference na is may process talaga yung manufacturing companies. Like, yung raw materials natin, magugupat sila sa production bago natin ma-consider as finished goods. So, with that, we have the three main manufacturing inventory accounts. The first is materials inventory. Nandito yung cost of all materials and supplies that are purchased and on hand. Tapos sabi dito, similar to merchandise inventory except for the way that the cost of items are assigned. This simply means na yung materials natin, ito yung mga direct materials and indirect materials, pasok siya dito sa account na to. Ito yung mga raw materials na kailangan natin i-put into process. Sabi dito, similar to merchandise inventory. Kasi, yun nga, parang kapag mag-purchase ka, di ba, mapupunta siya sa inventory. Kaso, sabi dito, except for the way that the cost of items are assigned. Kasi, merchandise inventory nga, kapag binili natin, yun na yung bibenta natin. Unfortunately here, sa materials, yung binili natin, it's just a part of the actual product that we are selling, a part of the cost of goods that we are selling. So, ayun. Kasi nga, tandaan natin na ang manufacturing cost natin, it is the materials plus labor plus factory overhead. Diba? Direct materials, direct labor, and factory overhead. And ayun. Following this, it is the work in process account. This includes cost for goods in production but not yet completed. Tapos, wala siyang counterpart in merchandise account. Unlike the materials inventory and the finished goods inventory, work in process kasi wala talaga siyang similar kasi nga wala namang production doon sa ating merchandise accounting. So, ayun. Sa work in process, dito nga pumapasok yung sinasabi nating direct materials, direct labor, factory overhead. And then, yun yung mga pinuput natin para ma-manufacture yung product natin. And eventually, after putting it into process, kapag tapos na siya, mag-move on siya sa ating third manufacturing inventory account, which is the finished goods. It is finished goods, it is the total cost incurred in manufacturing but still on hand. So, manufacturing is but still on hand. Kumbaga, ito yung mga natapos na natin ka-process. Tapos na siya sa production period. Pero, the thing is, hindi pa natin siya nabebenta. Kaya sabi nito, in other words, the cost of products completed but unsold. Yeah. Moving on, elements of manufacturing costs. Ito yung pinatakal ko kanina na direct materials, direct labor, and factory overhead. Though I think this has been tackled na talaga in the previous lessons, kahit napahapyaw lang. And ayun. For the manufacturing costs, we have three, which is direct materials, direct labor, and factory overhead. Ngayon, dun sa book kasi ni De Leon, naka-under yung indirect materials sa direct materials, indirect labor sa direct labor. Although, it does not mean na under sila doon. Kumbaga, na-mention lang sila kasi similar and yung parang pinaka-purpose nila and ayun na. So, for direct materials, this is the part of the product being manufactured and which can be readily identified with a certain product. For indirect materials naman, materials cannot be readily identified with a certain product. So, ang difference ng direct materials and indirect materials, kasi yung direct materials, ito yung mga parang core or main materials na kailangan natin para magawa ng product. For example, if gagawa ka ng bookshelf. If gagawa ka ng bookshelf, ano ba yung mga direct materials natin? Paint, wood, diba? Yun yung mga, alam mo, kailangan mo talaga kapag ginagawa yung product na yun. And then for indirect materials naman, materials that cannot be readily identified with a certain product. Kapag ginagawa ka ng bookshelf, meron ding mga pako or screws. Tapos meron din tayong mga materials na ginagamit sa pagpuproduce pero hindi naman siya part nung mismo binibenta natin. Such as yung sandpaper. Kapag kasi gumawa ka ng bookshelf, diba, kailangan mo ng piliha bago ka makapagpintura ng maayos. Ayun. And then, moving on sa labor naman, direct labor, cost of labor for those employees who work directly on the product manufactured, and indirect labor required for the manufacturing and process, but do not work directly on the units manufactured. Um, it's self-explanatory na 'to. Sa direct labor, kailangan ikaw mismo yung nagwo-work sa product na yun. And direct labor, ayun nga, parang required ka, pero hindi mo talaga hina-handle. A good example would be if yung factory mo may machines and then yung machine operator, it will, siya yung nag-operate ng machine. Therefore, meron siyang direct relation doon sa product na mina-manufacture natin. Pero tandaan natin na hindi lang naman yun, meron din tayong mga factory supervisor, yung parang binabantayan nila at lahat-lahat. More on office work sila. So nagfo-fall yun sa indirect labor kasi nga wala silang direct contribution or hindi nila nahahawakan or wala talaga silang, ayun nga, direct, work doon sa ating mga mina-manufacture na product. And then lastly is factory overhead. This includes all costs related to the manufacturing of the product except direct materials and direct labor. Sa factory overhead, included dito yung ating indirect materials and indirect labor, as well as other manufacturing expenses. So, wag kayong papalito dun, kasi sa libro nga, naka, naka-state naman na yung indirect materials and indirect labor, under sila sa factory overhead. Pero kasi yung bullet nila nandun sa direct material and direct labor mismo, diba? Pero that is just to explain the difference talaga. So, ayun lang. And siguro tandaan na lang din natin na kapag tinanong ano yung kailangan for the total manufacturing cost, ang sagot is direct materials plus direct labor plus factory overhead. Kasi minsan, tinatanong sa mga statements or sa mga questions sa exam, true or false, the formula to get the total manufacturing cost or yun nga is prime cost plus conversion cost. Eh, alam naman natin na ang prime cost is yung direct materials and direct labor. Ang conversion cost is direct labor and factory overhead. So, parang ang sinasabi ko lang is dodoblehin yung direct labor kapag ginawa nating prime cost plus conversion cost. So, ang sagot kapag ganun yung tanong, false. Kapag sinabing prime cost plus conversion cost, yung um, formula for the total manufacturing cost. Siguro pwede yung ano, yung prime cost plus factory overhead or direct materials plus conversion cost. Pero yung prime cost plus um, conversion cost, mali yun. Okay. And then, move na tayo sa journal entries for manufacturing firm. Pro forma muna tayo. Ayan. So, entry to record the purchase of materials, debit raw materials inventory at acquisition cost, and credit accounts payable or cash. Depende kung anong pinambayad mo. I think this is pretty self-explanatory kasi asset natin yun. And then, yun nga, mababawasan na cash natin or magkakaroon tayong liability if credit natin siya pinurchase. And then, entry to record payment within the stock period. Debit accounts payable, credit cash, credit raw materials inventory. Kasi nga, nagkaroon ka ng discount, so mababawasan yung value ng raw materials inventory mo. And for that naman, kasi nga, nagbayad ka na, mababawasan yung liability account mo, and then babawasan din yung cash account. Entry to record the purchase return rather. So, di ba, accounts payable, debit, or cash, tapos i-credit natin is raw materials inventory. Kasi nga, binalik mo na siya. So, mababawasan yung inventory mo, and then, magkakaroon ka ng cash or mababawasan yung liability mo to pay credit. And then, entry to record the issuance of materials, debit work in process, use for direct materials, and then debit factory overhead control for indirect materials. Credit raw materials inventory. Halimbawa, request yung production, diba, for materials. And halimbawa, sabihin natin na um, nag-request siya ng 21,000 for the production process and 20,000 dun is direct materials, 1,000 dun is indirect materials. So, work in process, 20,000, factory overhead, 1,000, raw materials inventory, 21,000. Ganun lang siya. Okay, so, and then to record payroll naman, this is dun sa labor na tayo. Focus tayo sa materials category. For labor naman, debit payroll, credit accrued payroll, credit SSS premium payable, PhilHealth premium payable, and HDMF premium payable. Yung last three, which is yung SSS, PhilHealth, and HDMF, or yung mga premiums natin, depende kung nilitaw sila. Dun sila nagiging applicable. Kaya kapag hindi sila lumilitaw sa problem, usually debit payroll, credit accrued payroll lang. And to record payroll, we have 3 entries. Ito yung first entry natin. So, ayun. Second entry is debit accrued payroll, credit cash. So, babalik pa rin lang, ay hindi naman sa babalik pa rin lang, pero kasi babayaran na natin yung liability natin to our employees, diba? Tapos, yun nga, if nabayaran na rin itong SSS, will help ng HDMF, syempre, i-debit din natin sila. And then the third one is to distribute the payroll na. So, distribute the payroll, debit work in process for direct labor, debit factory overhead for indirect labor, tapos yung mga salaries ng mga sales personnel and office personnel, dun sila sa proper account nila. Selling expense for sales, administrative naman for office. Tapos credit payroll. Ngayon, and dito report employer share, minsan lang din ito namilitaw, pero kapag halimbawa may share yung employer mo, diba? Alam naman natin yun, especially dun sa mga premiums. At yung entry niya, debit factory overhead for factory-related payroll, debit selling expense, debit administrative expense, tapos credit natin yung SSS premium payable, PhilHealth, and HDMF as well. Ito naman, entry to record other actual overhead costs. Dito po mapasok yung ating mga accounts such as accumulated depreciation. So, halimbawa, na-depreciate, syempre yung part ng factory, diba? So, debit factory overhead and then credit sa appropriate account. Appropriate account will depend on the cost center. So, like our example kanina, depreciation, ayun, accumulated depreciation. Tapos, debit work in process and credit factory overhead. This is for actual costing. Kapag naman, ina-apply na natin yung overhead to production. Kumbaga, yung ipapasok na natin yung factory overhead sa work in process natin. Yun lang naman yung gist nun. That is for actual costing ha. And then for normal costing, magiging debit work in process, credit, factory overhead, applied. Okay. Tapos, entry to record excess materials naman. Return from factory to material warehouse. So, binabalik natin yung materials. Debit raw materials inventory kasi nga, babalik sa iyo raw materials na hindi nagamit. And then, credit mo yung work in process, so credit mo rin yung factory overhead. This is yung kapag nagbalik ka, hindi mo nagamit. Yung mga sobra-sobra lang, ganun naman. And then, enter to record the completion of goods and the corresponding transfer to finished goods warehouse, debit finished goods inventory, and credit work in process. This is for cost of goods manufactured. So, ayun nga, kapag natapos na yung goods, syempre, yung mga work in process natin, ililipat na natin siya sa ating finished goods inventory. Ganun lang naman siya. So, debit FG credit with. Tapos kapag nagre-record tayo ng sales, debit, accounts receivable or cash, depende kung credit sales siya or cash sales, credit sales. Tapos, debit cost of goods sold, credit finished goods inventory. Ganun lang naman siya. And then kapag may special order, debit cost of goods sold, credit work in process. Ito naman for sales return, debit sales return, credit accounts receivable for cash. Tapos magre-reverse lang yung nangyari kanina kasi babalik siya sa finished goods inventory mo, then mababawasan yung cost of goods sold mo kasi binalik siya. Tapos, ayun, yung cost of goods sold statement, ito nga, sinasabi ko, pro forma. Basta kabisado mo lang siya, you will get through this lesson very quickly. So, yan, name of company, cost of goods sold statement for the year ended. Ayan, so direct materials used. Tapos, merong materials inventory beginning doon. Tapos, add natin yung purchases. So, itong materials inventory beginning, ito yung mga um, assets. Usually, ito yung ending inventory ng last year. Is kumbaga yung mga materials na meron ka at the beginning of the year. Tapos, dadagdag mo yung purchases mo. Makukuha mo yung mga total material na pwede mong ilagay sa process or the total materials available for use. Tapos, at the end of the year, meron kang ending inventory, syempre. So, ilalas mo yon, then makukuha mo yung direct materials na pinut mo into process or yung mga direct materials use natin. Tapos, direct labor, and then factory overhead. A-add mo lang silang tatlo, yung direct materials, factory overhead, and direct labor to get the total manufacturing cost. Tapos, after getting the total manufacturing cost, interconnected pala 'to ha, baka mamaya may putol siya. So, ayun. So, total manufacturing cost, lalagyan natin yung work in process beginning, makukuha natin yung cost of goods within the process. Then, if i-realize natin yung work in process ending, makukuha lang natin yung cost of goods manufactured. Tapos, after we get the cost of goods manufactured, we can add the finished goods beginning, which is, yun yung mga products na, yun nga, the beginning of the year, hindi pa sila nabibenta, pero tapos na sila. Then, after natin i-add yun, we will get the goods available for sale. Ito yung total na product na pwede mong ibenta. And then, we less the finished goods ending or yung mga natira sa inventory natin at the end of the year or the month, then we will get the cost of goods sold normal. Ayun. Ito yung parang pinaka tinatakil natin na financial statement when it comes to cost of goods sold statement or the cost accounting cycle rather. Ngayon, we will move on sa service. Nasa book din kasi siya, though eto, lesser siya or like hindi siya ganong ginagamit or hindi siya ganong tinatakil sa atin. Pero tingnan na rin natin siya. So, journal entries naman for service firm, entry to record purchasing materials, debit purchases, credit, accounts payable or cash. So, makikita niyo na yung difference dito. Wala na materials inventory. Kasi nga, service business tayo. And then, entry to record payment, labor cost, debit direct labor, debit, service overhead for indirect. Tapos, credit cash. Entry to record overhead cost incurred. So, kapag nag-incur ka ng overhead, debit mo lang yung overhead, credit yung cash. For accounts payable, depende kung on credit siya. Ito. And then, entry to record expense paid. Debit appropriate expense account, credit cash. So, yung sinasabi ko dyan, it could be, yun nga, pwede siyang administrative, pwedeng selling. So, talagay mo lang administrative expense, credit cash, or selling expense, credit cash. Ganun siya. And then, entry to record payments received from clients. Obviously, magkakaroon tayo ng cash. Then, credit sa revenues. So, going back, we will discuss the statement of comprehensive income for service. So, ayan, start tayo sa revenues. Then, we will compute the cost of providing services such as the materials, labor, service overhead. Tapos, i-deduct natin sila sa revenues natin. And then, we will get the gross profit. Tapos, ayun nga, ibabawas din natin dito yung ating mga operating expenses such as yung administrative and selling to arrive at the net income. Ganun lang siya. And Yun, end of lesson. So let's try some problem solving. Hello! So ayan, start na natin yung ating problem number 1. So on October 1, the ledger of the Adamantine Company contained among other accounts the following: finished goods of 25,000, work in process of 30,000, and materials of 15,000. During October, the following transactions were completed. So yung requirement dito is to prepare the journal entries for the transaction. Start na natin sa letter A. Materials were purchased at the cost of 28,000. So, syempre, nag-purchase tayo, madadagdagan tayo ng materials. So, debit, materials, pwede ring raw materials, pwede ring materials inventory. And then we credit accounts payable. Ngayon, kaya accounts payable ginamit ko kasi silent yung problem. You could also use cash naman, pero sa amin kasi, ang ginagamit kapag silent is accounts payable, na-assume na lang na on credit siya. And then, letter B, direct materials in the amount of 21,000 were issued from the storeroom. Issued from the storeroom, meaning na-request na sila for production. So, it means na ilalagay na sila or ipuput na sila into process. Therefore, since direct material siya, anong gagamitin natin? We debit work in process. And then we credit materials. Yeah. And then, ang value is 21,000. Yeah. Letter C, storeroom requisitions for indirect materials and supplies amounted to 3,200. Nag-request na yung storeroom ng indirect materials. And as we all know, indirect materials are still part of the materials we purchased. So, ayun nga, they are part of the materials we purchased, pero under sila ng factory overhead. Which is why we will debit factory overhead control while we credit materials. And that is 3,200. Tama. For letter D naman, total payroll for October amounted to 31,000, including marketing salaries of 7,500 and administrative salaries of 5,500. Labor time tickets show that 15,500 of the labor cost was direct labor. The total payroll, we already discussed na tatlo ang entries to record payroll, which is first is to record it, and then yung for payment ng payroll, and then yung distribution. So let's start. Record muna natin na payroll, credit payroll, credit accrued payroll. And that is how much? 31,000. And then, reverse na natin. Hindi naman reverse, but rather, tatanggalin na natin yung accrued payroll since nagbayad na tayo. So, debit accrued payroll. And then, we credit cash. So, dahil na nga. That is 31,000. Yan. Ngayon, the last entry, before we go to the last entry, I will remind na kanina doon sa discussion natin, meron din tayong yung option which is yung merong SSS, Pag-ibig, and PhilHealth contribution. Pero dito wala siya kasi wala namang sinabi yung problem. Pero kapag may problem, of course, we will include that. Okay? And then, ayun, the next entry or the last entry for the payroll, we will have to distribute it. So with that, alam naman natin na i-credit natin ang payroll, which is 31,000. Yan. Ay. Yan. And then, i-debit natin. Anong i-debit natin dito? Start tayo sa direct labor. Labor time ticket show that 15,500 of the labor cost was direct labor. So, since direct labor siya, ilalagay natin siya sa work in process. And then, marketing salaries and administrative salaries. So, expense na yon, marketing expense and administrative expense. 7.5 and 5.5. Ngayon, as we can see, may butal pa rin siya. Kasi, kapag pinag-add natin to, which is yan, 28.5 lang siya and we still have 31,000. So, syempre, we will balance it out. And may kulang talaga since saan natin i-distribute yung remaining payroll, di ba? Ang hindi na, i-charge natin siya to factory overhead control. Yan. Okay, so tapos na tayo sa payroll. And we can move on to the next one. Various factory overhead costs were incurred at 12,000 on account. So, debit lang natin dito yung factory overhead control again. Kasi nag-incur tayo. And then on account daw. So, accounts payable. And that is 12,000. Total factory overhead is charged to the work in process account. Meaning yung factory overhead natin, ipuput na natin siya into production or process. Therefore, debit work in process and then credit factory overhead control. Dito sabi total, so add lang natin siya. Pero you should take note dun sa problem anong hinihingi. Minsan, a certain percentage of direct labor is charged as factory overhead control to the work in process. So, mag-iiba lang yung solution mo. So, ayun, a-add lang natin lahat ng factory overhead control, which will result to 17.7. And then G, cost of production completed in October totaled 58,000 and finished goods in shipping room on October 31 totaled 18,000. I-ignore muna natin tong finished goods in the shipping room kasi magiging useful siya when we will do the entry for cost of goods sold. And for now, ang i-focus muna natin is yung goods na na-transfer from work in process to finished goods, which is 58,000. So, debit tayo ng finished goods. And then we credit work in process. And that is how much? 58,000. Ito yung natapos natin this year. And then finally, customers to whom shipments were made were billed for 88,000. Billed meaning accounts receivable. Debit lang yun. And then credit sales. It is 88,000 daw. And then sabi, also record the entry for cost of goods sold. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. And the only end there is you debit cost of goods sold. So record ano na yung mga nabenta. And then, syempre, kapag nagkaroon ka na ng binenta, mababawasan yung iyong finished goods inventory. So, finished goods inventory, paano natin malalaman yung cost of goods sold? We base it doon sa beginning balance ng finished goods, which is 25,000. Kasi ito available for sale na to eh. And then, we will add kung ano man yung natapos, itong 58,000. Kasi, therefore, kapag nagawa na natin yun, we will get the total goods available for sale. And then, ibabawas na lang natin yung, sabi dito, ending inventory or ito, finished goods in the shipping room on October 31, total 18,000. Ito yung end of the month, therefore, it is the ending inventory. So, less lang natin yung 18,000. We will get 65,000 sa cost of goods sold. Okay. And that's it for our first problem. Ayan. Diba, madali lang siya if iisipin mo And ayun nga, I think we can now move on sa ating second problem. So eto, the following data was taken from the general ledger and other records of GPAU Manufacturing Company at March 31, the end of the first month of operations in the current fiscal year. The sales, materials, inventory, work in process, finished goods inventory, materials purchased, direct labor costs, and the rest. Ayun. Requirements, prepare a statement of cost of goods manufactured and determine the cost of goods sold for the month. So, ganito yung gagawin natin. Let's do the cost of goods manufactured. And then, after natin ma-determine yung cost of goods manufactured, let us move on na cost of goods sold statement naman. And e-edit ko na lang siya. Okay. So, ayan. So, start tayo, syempre, saan tayo nagsisimula? Sa ating direct materials. And ano ba ang composition ng direct materials? This is the beginning inventory. Ito, 15,000. Ayan. And then, also the materials purchase of 21,000. You just add those two. After that, you will get, ano bang makuha mo? Yan yung total cost of available materials. Ito yung overall na meron tayong materials na pwede natin i-put into process or yun nga, basta pwede natin gamitin. Yun lang naman ang gist nun. And then, after that, anong gagawin natin? We will remove the inventory from March 31. Bakit natin ililess yung inventory ng March 31? Kasi ito yung natira eh. Ito yung natira sa mga materials natin. And that means na kapag binawas natin yung natira dun sa initially na meron tayo na pwede natin ibenta, we will get yung mga materials na nagamit natin. Ayan. Yeah. Cost of materials used is 20,000. So, if we look at the problem, itong factory overhead, sabi, it includes 5,000 of indirect materials used. And ito, since materials pa lang to, and hindi pa natin like, hindi pa natin siya, hindi pa natin naliless dito yung indirect materials. Kasi hindi naman sinabing, ay, direct materials na ito agad. We are solving na for the direct materials used. So, we should less itong indirect materials. Which will give us the value of 15,000. Kasi, ayun, ito na yung direct materials natin. After we finish the direct materials, syempre, ano yung susunod natin? It is always the direct labor naman. And dito, given lang siyang direct labor cost is 21,000 or I mean, 12,500 pala. Sorry, yung duling. So, 12,500 yung direct labor cost. Ngayon, you're asking me siguro, bakit hindi natin nililess itong indirect labor na nakalagay sa factory overhead? Kasi, nakalagay na doon sa problem na ito yung direct labor cost, yung 12,500. Pero if ever man, nakalagay lang siguro cost of labor, ganun, pero hindi specify na direct lang siya, and equal, you should also remove the indirect labor cost. And then, we can move on sa ating factory overhead. So, sa factory overhead natin, ang sabi is 11,500, which is, um, 11,500 yung ating factory overhead. Yan. Kaso, syempre, yung components niya ilalagay rin natin, such as the indirect materials of 5,000, and then the indirect labor of 2,500. Kaso obviously, kulang yan eh. Kasi 7,500 lang to, 11,500 to. The other ones, they will just be charged sa ating other factory overhead account kasi wala siyang specification kung ano siya. So, ayun. And then, after that, we can move on to solve our total manufacturing cost, which is, as discussed earlier, direct materials plus direct labor plus factory overhead. So, ito na yung total manufacturing cost natin nun. And then, we could also, after that, we could go on na sa next part ng problem, which is to add the work in process and finished goods. Pero since ang resolve natin is cost of goods manufactured lang, work in process lang yung gagalawin muna natin and wala muna yung ating finished goods. Di muna natin papansinin yun. So since cost of goods manufactured, we add the work in process on March 1, which is amounting to ito, 20,000. And then we will get 59,000 with 39 plus 20 equals 59. Ayan. This is the total goods put into process. Kasi ito, nilagay na natin to sa process. Itong 39,000. Tapos, ito, work in process no March 1. So, ito lahat ng goods na nasa work in process account mo. Gets ba? Ngayon. And then, we can move on na ang gagawin natin is after we get the total goods put into process, we less work in process ending March 31, which nandito is 18,000. So, after that, we will get the total goods or cost of goods manufactured. Ayan. And ito na yan yung ating statement of cost of goods manufactured. Pero, yun nga, ito lang yung pinaprepare. Kaso, ang gagawin natin is medyo mas complex and ayun, para hindi na rin separate solution, mas efficient siya for us. Ito yung cost of goods manufactured. Pero if gagawa ka ng cost of goods sold statement, same lang siya, same lang yung process. So, papalitan ko lang tong cost of goods manufactured. Tatanggalin ko lang yung manufactured and then cost of goods sold. Yun lang. Ang gagawin ko lang nun, tanggalin ko yung double rule dito. Yan. After natin makuha yung cost of goods manufactured or total goods manufactured, what we do is we just add the beginning of finished goods, which is 28,000 ba to? Yeah, 28,000. So, ayan, we just add the finished goods of March 1, 28,000. And then we will get total goods available for sale, 9,000. Kasi nga, ito yung meron na tayo, na-transfer natin ito sa finished goods. And then, ayun, i-add natin itong beginning inventory ng finished goods natin na meron na tayo. And then, makukuha natin yung mga total goods na pwede na natin i-benta. And then, after that, we just less na lang din ulit yung finished goods inventory ending. Or, ayan, March 31. That will lead us to our cost of goods sold. Ngayon, bakit sabi kong niles yung finished goods na ending? Kasi nga, ito yung available for sale natin. Kapag binawas natin yung natitira pa sa ating inventory, then makukuha natin yung amount na nabenta. And that is 39,000. Therefore, the cost of goods sold is 39,000. Ayun. That's it siguro for the problem solving kasi natakal naman na lahat and yung process. Kaso, siguro maglagay na rin ako ng mga other things na pwede. Such as, ito, minsan kahit na pinagawa yung FOG statement like this, minsan ina-ask ano pa yung prime and conversion cost. So, add mo lang yung prime cost, which is direct materials, plus direct labor. You will get 27.5. Ito ang ating prime cost. And then, minsan naman, conversion cost ang hinihingi. So, you just get direct labor plus factory overhead. Total price of the we get 24. This is conversion Ngayon, pakita ko sa inyo ano yung sinasabi ko kanina na bakit mali yung prime plus conversion kapag hiningi yung total manufacturing cost. Ito yung 39,000 yung total manufacturing cost natin now. And kung tutuusin, tingnan mo ano mangyayari if pinag-add natin yung prime cost plus conversion cost. We will get 51.5 pag pinag-add natin yung prime and conversion. Ang total manufacturing cost na correct is 39,000 lang. Ang sobra is 51.5 minus 39,000. 12.5 ang sobra. Ano ang kamukha niyang value? Direct labor. Kasi nga, dumobli yung direct labor natin, which will make it wrong. So, I think yun lang naman, and I think it's good if i-practice nyo yung mga problem na gumagawa ng cost of goods sold statement, especially if yung mga maraming butal-butal and then you're trying to fill them out. Kasi dun mo dun ka masasanay and dun mo mame-memorize yung cost of goods statement without like trying na memorize mo talaga yung format niya. Masasanay ka lang kasi malalaman mo na yung process. Ayun, and that's it for this tutorial. And thank you so much for listening. Sana may natutunan kayo and see you on the next one. Bye!